Okay, so this is attempt number 4. 4 times I've tried to build this world. 4 times I've started, stopped, scrapped everything and walked away. But this time, something clicked. I want to show you what I've been working on. So if you ever watched Harry Potter and thought, I wonder what it would be like to design a place like Hogwarts from scratch. Well, not a lot of people have this idea, but that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm designing a school, a military academy actually, a place where young people learn how to fight, only to realize that the battle isn't really with a sword. I'm calling it the Citadel. It exists in a world I've been building called Celeste. So let me show you what I've been up to so far. So Celeste is a world building project that started in 2022. It's fantasy, but with a cosmic and celestial theme woven through it. So think of medieval knights, medieval structures, Gothic cathedrals, faith, war, and a little bit of some magic system sprinkled in there. I don't have the full picture yet, but I have pockets, I have fragments, and it feels like shining a light in a really dark room. I can only see so much at a time, but I've learned something. If I wait until I can see the whole room, I will never move. So I'm working with what the flashlight shows me. And right now it's showing me the Citadel. With previous attempts, I always started with characters. So I'll design a knight, give them armor and a backstory, and sprinkle a little bit of some personality. And I have no idea where these guys live. I have no idea what they would eat. I have no idea what they smelled when they grew up, like what that location feels like. And it dawned on me that characters don't exist in a vacuum. They are shaped by their environment, and the way someone walks, the way they dress, and the way they think, it comes from the world around them. So this time I decided to flip it. I'm working on the environment first. So I'm letting the world tell me what type of characters live in it. And since I knew I wanted knights, that pushed me a little bit back in time towards something more medieval with stones and with towers. And it led me somewhere I didn't expect. I started researching Gothic cathedrals, and there's something about them I couldn't shake. The whole philosophy behind those structures, they weren't just buildings, they were designed as attempts to reach heaven. And that's why everything points upwards, like the spires, the arches, the impossibly high ceiling. It was architecture as aspiration. And I thought that's exactly what the Citadel should feel like. A place that is reaching for something beyond itself. So I took that foundation, that pointed silhouettes, the arches, the verticality, and started twisting it a little bit to what I wanted. One thing I wanted to introduce in my world was Gigantism. I wanted some structures to be so massive, so intricate that when you look at them, your first thought is no human hands could have built this. And that's kind of intentional because in Celeste, they didn't. I'm hinting at something here that these aren't just statues or decorations, they are remnants. Ancient buildings turned to stone through events we don't fully understand yet. And the people of this world, they simply just built around them. They incorporated them into their cities, they used them as guards, as pillars, gargoyles, as monuments. I don't need to explain all of this upfront. I just need to design it in a way that makes you feel it, that makes you look at the structure and sense that there's a story buried in those stones, and I would love to know more, even though I won't tell you more. That's the entire point. Alright, so let me walk you through the iterations. The first sketch I did was on the flat ground. I planned a sprawling campus with Gothic spires everywhere. I added these massive figures standing guard at the edges. They're just silhouettes for now, but you can feel what the scale is like. And I did something weird. I added portals, landing pads for aircraft. And I sat with that for a second, like, do we have planes in this world? I don't know, but it looked cool, so I kept it. I can figure out the logic later, maybe design some kind of vessel that fits the level of technology we have in this world. But I'm letting the visuals come first. Then I did the second sketch, and this one really changed it for me. It was more vertical, 2 towers stretching up to the sky connected by bridges, and suddenly I could see layers, the mines, the dungeons below, and the arena, the training grounds. All of these are just in my head for now, but it started to feel cosmic in the way I was designing the shape language. Yeah, it's impractical, Yeah, but that's the point. It should feel like something that's beyond the ordinary feats of engineering, and it should feel a bit like magical, like out of this world. So I feel like I can keep going in this direction. And here's the story hook. Why are there two towers? They represent the two brothers who founded the Citadel. Well, there was a third brother, but he's no longer in the picture. And that tension, the absence, is built into the architecture itself. After that, I explored other alternatives. What if the citadel wasn't on flatlands? That was the first idea I had. What if it was in the mountains, spread across peaks like a Himalaya monastery? Different buildings at different elevations, the airstrips on one mountain, the dormitories on another. You would have to journey between them, and I kind of like that. It made the campus feel like an adventure in itself. Then I pushed it further. What if it was on sea? I sketched these structures inspired by jellyfishes, and most of this building is hidden underwater with only fragments visible above the surface. It's beautiful and impractical, and that's the point. Um, but looking at all of this, it feels too vast to tackle all of it right now. So I would go back to the flatland designs and just commit to that and drill deeper on it. One thing I'm still wrestling with is the architectural style. Gothic makes it feel religious and aspirational, which is the theme of what I'm working with everything reaching upward, ornate, reverent. But the Citadel is also a military academy. It's not a seminary. And for that, I'm inspired by Brutalist architecture. It feels a bit more honest, like concrete, function over form, and it's strength. But I'm conflicted. How do I marry these two ideas? I think the answer is in the shape language. I can keep the Gothic silhouette, like that's the pointed arches and the verticality, but strip back some of the ornamentation, and I feel like that would work. I can use heavier materials, maybe try glass in particular areas to bring back a little bit of that Gothic feel. Even though I'm using materials like concrete, I feel like it can have an ancient feel, but also a modern one at the same time. I'm not there yet, and I just have mood boards for now. Well, this is a direction I hope I can toy with in the future. And I'm learning that design isn't about having the answers up front, it's about holding that tension until the answer kind of reveals itself. One thing I studied closely was Hogwarts Legacy. That's the game that came out not too long ago for all the Harry Potter fans out there. It's awesome. I wanted to see how they translated all those locations from the film into a space you could actually move through. What I loved about Hogwarts is the journey between spaces. You could be in the Gryffindor's common room and take the spiral staircase, get to the Great Hall, have breakfast, then go for your class in herbology. It felt like locations, different iconic locations that you could just walk through. And I wanted a similar experience for the Citadel. I want students to feel the landscape as they move between classes. So step outside, see the sky, feel the wind, and be reminded of the world that they are in. And so as I'm designing this building separately, I want them to be connected. The dormitories can be in one location, training grounds can be in another location, but there are bridges and there are pathways that link everything together. So the campus has space and room for the characters to breathe. So here's the thing I didn't expect in this process. For the first time in years, I felt peace while drawing. I've had the idea for Celeste for so long now, and I kept not starting because I felt like I wasn't good enough to execute the ideas it was in my head. My skills got better over the years, but the insecurities didn't go anywhere. And I talked to people who are more advanced than I am in my career. And when I hear them talk, I notice like they still have a level of insecurity too. So if that's not going away, I might as well just like start the work regardless and not pay attention to it. It was realizing that the idea in my head is nothing compared to having it on paper. So I said to myself, it's better for my ideas to be on paper, rough, and the sketches I have so far might not be the best drawings, but they are a physical representation of the idea I have in my mind, and that is worth more than an idea. that's just chilling in my head. I know that these are blueprints and these are just starting points, and I am okay with that. One day I would most likely hire someone more skilled than I am to refine these environments, but at least I have something to give them or hand to them for them to reference and work with. So I'm choosing progress instead of perfection, and I'm choosing motion over clarity. That's what this project has been teaching me so far. So this is where I am right now. Rough sketches, mood boards, a direction that finally feels right. A younger version of me will be a bit surprised that I now draw environments, but that's quite interesting in itself. But here we are, and I'm curious to find out where all of this goes. If you want to come along for the ride, just stick around. There's a lot more Celeste to uncover. So bye for now.